Okay, so first thing first, let's start with creating an application. We click on this create app button. It will give us 4 different options here. The first option is a blank application, so you will be able to create everything from scratch. Okay, and other 3 options are our ready-made templates. So for example, if you have an e-commerce business, then you can just use this e-commerce template to have some pre-built foundation ready, and then after you can apply other customizations however you want it, right? So it's again your choice that what way you want to go. You have a complete flexibility here. Today I will be converting this website, which is my e-commerce website, into mobile app. Okay, and it's an e-commerce website, so I'll be selecting an e-commerce template. Now it's asking me for the application name, so I'll be entering e-commerce webinar demo, like that, for the application name, right? You can use any name you want here. Next 2 other options are industry and website platform. So these are really important options again, because we are providing suggestions, and in the future we'll be providing a lot of automations based on these 2 different fields, right? So I would highly recommend selecting the proper information here. I'm selecting e-commerce for myself and WordPress as a platform here, and next. Now, because it's an e-commerce template, it's asking for 4 different URLs here. Okay, so let's bring all those URLs. One of them is obviously the homepage URL. The another one is a shopping screen URL. So let's bring them as well. The next one is a cart screen URL here. Yeah, there you go. And the last one is my account. So I'll go here and my account, which will be my account URL. Perfect. After entering all these URLs, just click on the build up button. Okay, and once the application will be successfully created, it will build an application here like this. Okay, so now we have 3 different options here. First option is going into application dashboard, which we'll be discussing about in a bit. The second option is again more important, which is our preview app. So when you are building your application, obviously you want to preview that how your application looks like, right? So download our application in your Android devices, and you can preview it right away when you are working on that. So I would highly recommend doing this as a first step when you are working on Twinr applications. Download our preview app. Third option is to delete an application. So whenever you delete an application, you will have 3 months to recover it if you want, and for that you will need to contact our support, and they will be able to help you to recover it. Okay, now the next part. Okay, so when we go into the application dashboard, here we have few information available. The first thing is that a setup guide. So you download our preview app, setup branding, app theme, customize screens. We'll be going all these important informations step by step, right? And when you click on any of the link here, it will bring you to the documentation here. We have an in-depth documentation covered here, from step-by-step processes, creating an application to publishing your apps. So again, I would highly recommend using our documentation as well. And in your development process, if you find out any issues anytime, right, or whatever questions you have, always reach out to us using this live chat, and our support team will be able to help you. And let me tell you one thing, our support team is best out there right now, and everyone is talking about it, that Twinr is providing a best support. And it's free, so why don't you utilize it, right? Next thing is branding. So branding is your application branding completely, where you will be able to enter your application name. So we entered this application name while we were creating it. You can change it, and whatever you will change it here. Okay, when user will install your application, it will be displayed like this. So we have a nice preview here for that as well. Bundle ID and package name will be required when you want to publish an application on Play Store and App Store account. So we have in-depth documentation available for that as well, that how you can do that. Okay, so next thing is application icon. Upload the icon with 1024 by 1024 by format, and then it will become your application icon like this. And the last one is a launch screen, which is a splash screen. So when user will install an application in their mobile device, they will be able to see this screen first. until the content behind the screen is ready to be displayed. This is kind of a standard in mobile applications nowadays. So you can use this screen as a marketing purpose or a branding purpose, however you want to do that. Okay. Now, before going to the next section, what I want to do here, I want to open my preview application and give you guys a bit of a highlight that how our application looks like currently that we have just created. Okay, so that's how our application looks like. We have 4 different screens here, right? 4 different screens that we had created while we were creating an application, and then homepage URL here, the shopping page content here, the cart here, and all those things, right? So what we need to do now, what I'll be doing, I'll show you the final product that, for example, if we do all the customizations, then how this application looks like. And for that, I have this application available here for you guys. So you see, that's how the final product will look like. 4 different URLs here. You see there are a lot of changes here, the very nice intuitive navigation bar, tab bar. So let's see how all these things works. Okay, so let me switch my application from here as well. And branding. Okay, so you see we have a app theme section here. So app theming means you can set up your branding guidelines here, which is colors, title, font size, image height, width, and all those things, right? So for the tab bar here, you can see we are using this gray background color, and that's what it is using here, the gray background color. For the navigation bar, which is this header here, right, we are using this kind of gray color, and that's what it is using in the mobile apps here. And then we have these buttons and all those things, in which we will go into a bit. Whenever you do some changes here, save it as a draft. Okay, you go to the preview app and reload it, and that's it. All the latest changes that you did will be available here to preview it. Okay, so that's what the app theme section is. Now the core part of the development, and again I forgot to tell you one thing, that if you don't have an Android mobile to download the preview app, right, then we do have a simulated preview here for Android and iOS devices. So you can use this one as well, which is again similar thing, the similar preview that we have just seen in the mobile. You just need to use your similar username password to your portal, and that's it. Your application will be listed there, and just preview it. Okay, now under the screen section, you can see there are 4 different screens here, and we had created this screen while we were creating an application: home, shop, blog, and account. Okay, so what is the main purpose of creating a screen? So to understand that, okay, for example, right now I'm on my account screen. I want to go to the shop screen as a user. Then what I need to do, I click on this button, and it will load the page for me, right? And then the content will be displayed. But mobile application has a benefit here. So mobile application can display different screens in a tabs here. So whenever user want to go to the shop screen, the content will be readily available for them. They don't need to wait for the page to be loaded and all those things, right? So for that purpose, we actually create a new screen. We add a new screen here. So if you want to add a new screen, you just go to you click on the new screen button here and add all this information. Now, whenever you are creating a new screen, just ask one question to yourself, that how frequently this screen will be used by my users. If the answer is very frequently, then I would recommend creating a screen for that, because that's the most important part users will be using, and we want to provide that on the front of the applications so they can easily use that. Right now, whenever you are creating a screen, as a user experience perspective, I would recommend that go with maximum 5 numbers of screens here. Okay, and again, you can go with more than 5 as well based on your requirements, right? But to have a better user experience, I would recommend going with maximum 5 screens. And then after, you can use like Hamburger menu and all other options to provide other screen URLs as well, right? So yeah, that's what the main purpose of creating a new screen. Now, you guys also realize that on the home page here, if we go to the website, right, and let me load the home page here and make it responsive. So if I'll make it responsive, you see I have this header from the web page, this step bar which I don't need, right? And in the mobile apps, we have a dedicated tab bar, native tab bar. So how we can remove these elements, how we can customize it, how we can remove certain extra content that we don't need in a mobile app. Okay, and what are the other customization options we have? So for that, we have a really nice option here, which is under the general settings, you go to remove elements. Okay, and under the remove elements, you add a new element here, and it will ask you for the elements identifier. So this means that provide the elements identifier that you don't want to display in the mobile apps. So in this situation, I have provided this header identifier here, which is my mobile header wrapper. Okay, so how can we find this information? To do that, you just go to your website, right click and inspect it. Okay, which will open this kind of view for you guys. Click on this little arrow icon here, right? And then select the element. Okay, I want to remove this header completely. So let me select this element. And you see it's highlighting that element on the right hand side. Okay, and if I go above, then I have this header wrapped under this div element. So what I need to do, I just need to copy the class name. That's it. And then go here and paste it. After pasting it, what you need to do, if it's a class name, then use dot at the start, and that's it. You are done, right? So let me remove this one, save it as a draft, go here and reload this, and you see we do not have any header here. The header is gone, right? So that's how you customize your applications, and you only display important information in mobile apps, which is more usable for your users, and you also remove some of the extra content. And for that, I would say that we can just remove footers, headers, and all those things because we have a dedicated header, right? So we can remove all these things from the mobile apps. We don't really need that information. Now, to add a flexibility here, okay, you can apply these rules at two different levels. General settings means it will be applicable for all the screens, and if you go to any of the particular screen, then you will find the similar option here as well for the remove elements. And you see that I have one extra option here for only for the home screen, because if I go to the home screen, then I have this banner here which I don't want to display in the mobile apps, right? And it is only in the home screen. Other screen does not have it, so it does not make sense to remove it from everywhere, right? So what we can do, we can just specify that elements identifier under the at the screen level under the home screen, and that's it. For the home screen, as you can see here, there is no navigation, there is no banner here as well. That means in the mobile app, the content will start from this part, right? Which is again very easy to set up, right? And very cool feature to use. Okay. Now the next thing is about what are the other customization options we have, which is CSS. So you can literally add an extra CSS as well. You can apply some CSS. Similar thing, find out your elements identifier, provide CSS properties that you want to apply, and you are done with that. And scripting as well. So for example, if you want to inject some extra scripts in your app, maybe for the tracking purpose or for the analytics purpose or something, right? You can do that here as well. And that's it. Now, let's look at the URL policy. So URL policy, I was talking about the multi-domain support, right? So that's where this feature will be useful. So URL policy will provide you two different options at a higher level, that all the similar domain URL will keep opening in the current tab, which is in the application itself. But the different domain URL, if there will be any different domain, for example, Facebook or Twitter or LinkedIn, something like that, right? All those URLs will open in a mobile browser. So, and the reason is we don't want to disturb user, or we don't want to remove exiting user from the main important screen of our application. And we always do that in our website as well. In our website, if we click on those kind of links, then usually we open that URL in a new tab, right? So you can achieve the similar result here as well. Now, for example, you have a different domain URL which you want to keep opening in the current tab. So how you can do that? You create a new policy here and write down an expression that whenever in the URL you find xyz.com, okay, as a substring, open it in a current tab, and that's it. you are done, right? Whenever there will be xyz.com in the URL, it will find it. The Twinr will handle all those things and it will keep it opening in the current tab. Okay, so that's how you can support multi-domains as well. Okay, and again, similar thing, all these options are available at the screen level as well. So you decide that you want to apply it for one screen or the multiple screens, right? Okay, now moving forward, our next part is a cart refresh. So this feature is specifically for e-commerce. Now let's take an example that you have a cart screen here in the bottom bar, and we have a shopping screen here as well. So whenever I add some of the product in the cart, what I want to do, I want my cart screen to be reloaded every time, right? So users will be able to see the updated list of products in the cart. To do that, you just enable this feature and provide the cart counter selector, and that's it, you are done. The rest will be handled by Twinr. So again, this is really very useful feature for the e-commerce or any of the applications who have this kind of cart functionality. Okay. Now, if we go to the screen, then we have one more feature to discuss about, which is a navigation bar, right? And under the navigation bar, you have flexibility. Either you can completely disable this navigation bar. So if you will disable it in the mobile application, this navigation bar won't be displayed at all. It will be directly displaying the content from the web page content. Okay. You can also select that you want to display title as a text or image. If it's image, upload your image here and it will be displayed like this in the header. Okay, if it's a title, it will be displayed like this. Then title position, center or left. Again, that's also one of the added flexibility there. You can decide left or center you want. Now navigation bar buttons, right? So we do provide 5 different kind of buttons here: linker, cart, JS injector, text selector, and hamburger. So obviously hamburger button is useful where you want to just get rid of this website hamburger and you want to use the native one. So we do have a lot of hamburger button stylings here, like this. You see different stylings that you can use for the linker button and back button. Back button is for the navigation. So whenever there will be any navigation happening, if I'll go inside this, right, it will enable the back button for me automatically in the navigation bar. So you see we have a back button here. Click on it, it will bring me to the previous screen. And now there is no navigation, so no requirement for the back button as well. So again, Twinr will handle that automatically. One of the other button is the cart button that I want to highlight here for e-commerce applications, that you can literally mimic the cart button that you have on your website. And as you can see that I have mimicked this here as well. It shows the counter 5 here. There are 5 items in my cart right now, and this button is not from the website. It's a native button. So you can set up the cart button as well like this, right? And then I think we have all this information available on our documentation, that why and how you can use these buttons. Okay, why I have already told you, right? Instead of getting rid of those buttons from the website and make your application look more elegant and beautiful to look and very user friendly, I would say that use these kind of features here. Okay, now next thing is about push notification, which is the most important part of any of the application, as I have mentioned before, right? So our push notification setup is very easy to do. Just click on the enable push notification button, upload these 2 files, and seriously, you are done with that. Once you will upload these 2 files, your application will have a push notification support. It will be able to receive push notification. Okay, how you can set it up? We have this push notification setup documentation here. Please go through that and set it up. And once you will set it up, Firebase is providing really nice intuitive console from where you can design your push notifications. You can decide the target audience as well. You can decide if you want to schedule it, and also you can decide that if you want to make it actionable notifications, right? Do those setups, and then after you will be able to test this push notification as well. Just one thing to highlight here, you will not be able to test push notification using the preview app. So what you can do, which is our next part. So now you are done with all the setups, all the customizations. You have seen the preview app, everything is looking fine. Now it's time to look for your final product, that how it will look like. So what you can do, you go to app build. So even before going there, let me introduce one more feature here, which is a no internet view. Okay, so if in your application you want to handle the no internet view scenario with elegant situation, right, then I would say that use this feature, enable it. So whenever there will be no internet in user's mobile, instead of displaying anything, right, it will display the screen. And I think you can just imagine that if there is no internet in my mobile and I'm trying to load something, that what kind of weird UI there will be, right? So here it is. You can just enable this feature, and that's it. Now going to app build. So for the app build, you will need to provide this for information, right? Again, publishing apps and all these two different documentation URL will give you start to end process for publishing apps to create this information, right? Once you upload this information, you just go to build history and request a new build. So let me explain that how it will look like. So for example, if I'll go to this one of our application, right, and when you request a build, it will provide you two different files here. It can be APK file or AAB file and AAB file. So APK file you can directly install in your mobile Android mobile to test that how your final application looks like, and AAB for releasing on your Play Store accounts. And iOS. So if I go to any one of the application here, which is a plant course and iOS, so you see we have a iOS builds here, which is a IPF file, right? So IPF file means you can upload it on test flight, and test flight is a official Apple resource which will allow you to install application on your iPhone, test it, see everything is good, just publish that to the store. So all these applications are production ready applications, so you don't need to do anything. You just publish those apps and that's it, you are done with that. And whenever you find that the build is failing or something, right, we are as I said that we are just a message away. Send us a message and we will be able to help you with that.